All right, we need to decouple from China, so says my next guest. He's exactly right. Jarrett Stepman is a Daily Signal columnist, author of The War on History, The Conspiracy to Rewrite America's Past, and unflatteringly so, I should say, as well. Jarrett, nice to have you back on the program.
Oh, thank you very much. Good to be back.
Always good to see you. So the great decoupling here, and there's some pain involved, but, you know, the stock market had some bad days, but it's been pretty consistent over the last several. No big ups and downs. But I just saw, and maybe you know this, 245% is where the tariff is on some products now with China. 245. At some point, you have no trade at all. Is that number accurate?
That appears to be accurate, at least on some items. I mean, I think this is sort of part of Trump's plan. As the Chinese escalate, we're going to escalate too. And I think he is intending to put larger barriers up on Chinese goods, if that means maybe even making it even higher than that. I mean, it started off in below 100%, and people thought that was shocking. This is, I think, it's doing what Trump promised to do. I mean, that's what I wrote about when I wrote about the need to decouple from China. This is very much a part of it. I mean, I could definitely see those numbers going even higher, especially on select Chinese goods. The Chinese have been retaliating. They've been trying to withdraw certain, especially rare earth minerals from the U.S. market. They were doing so even before Trump started this, which I think only actually doubles down on the necessity of what Trump is doing right now. I mean, we can't be beholden to China, to a foreign communist country. I mean, that's ultimately what this is. Trump is resetting the system, something that we should have done a long time ago. I would say it's sort of comparable to an addict now getting off of a drug, and there's going to be some short-term pain because of it, but it's necessary in the long term for the long-term health of the United States. We can no longer be dependent on communist China for all of our goods, it seems. I mean, can you buy anything almost in the stores these days that isn't made in China?
You know,
that's just been the reality for a long time.
Yeah, I saw something, Jarrett, here. It's been a couple of weeks, but I did see a headline flash through from Amazon saying that they were going to discontinue a number of their products from China. That would obviously hurt the Chinese. And look, the Chinese economy is not nearly as robust as they would have the world believe. They claim 5% and 6% growth. Nobody believes that. And that was before all of these tariffs set in. There's trouble in China. So then the question comes back to President Xi. Can he survive this? Look, he's systematically eliminated most of his rivals, all of the competition. There's no clear succession now because he got rid of that inside the Chinese Communist Party. But the generals are still generals. I mean, this is dangerous times for him, isn't it?
It is dangerous times for him. It's interesting because I think many people think that Americans are going to blink first in these negotiations in general. And I'm not sure if that's true anymore because in China, there's been an expectation now of, well, we're going to rise. We're going to continue to rise. The economy's growing. If that stops and China suddenly can't trade its goods, which it's sold at under market values, where its ports are filling up with piles and piles of the goods they want to sell on the world market, their economy starts to slow down. That's a very serious challenge to the communist regime there. I mean, their mandate of heaven comes from the fact that they've increased the economic position of that country. I think that's how they've managed to sustain themselves in the way that the Soviet Union never could. That becomes a severe challenge for them. They have every reason to want to drop these tariffs and make things go as they were before. Again, that's why I think Trump is actually absolutely doing the right thing, especially at this moment where the Chinese economy has showed a lot of weakness. I mean, they need us more ultimately than we need them. They need to sell to the American consumer, as Trump said. And so now China's going to try to dump all of their goods onto other nations, which, of course, those nations aren't going to be too happy with either. They're going to try to dump those goods onto Europe. We'll see how the EU responds to this, but China will ruin your economy too. It's not just the United States. And I think there are a lot of countries now around the world who want to resist this. Now the United States is showing the way.
Absolutely. Look, as was pointed out by a number of folks, China has abused not just the United States, they've abused everybody. They've taken advantage of everybody along the way, right? They've taken advantage of every trading partner they can get. You look at some of the countries in Central America, for example. They came in, built some bridges, made deals, and then completely destroyed their fisheries by going through with nets and netting out the complete fisheries. I've seen this with my own two eyes and had the people in places like Costa Rica explain it to me. I'm like, oh, we got 3 bridges out of that, but they came through with trawlers and netted all of our fish. So China just takes advantage of everybody. I think the world is having a refreshment moment, going, oh, we can stand up to China. I think it's not just America going, hey, I think it's the rest of the world too. What do you think?
It is. I mean, we should have learned our lesson from COVID, how they restricted goods. They basically gave the world a virus. You know, how they behave very badly. I mean, I think the media doesn't want to allow people to remember that, but certainly I do. I think Trump does. I think Trump knows how they behaved during that time. I think they want a stronger, more robust America at this time. And Trump is basically saying, you have an option. You can go with China's way of doing things, one that which the law itself is not recognized, in which your intellectual property will be stolen from you. Or you can go with the American way, which is the more stable way, which is the better way overall, which has lifted all these countries up. And I think that making that a real choice now, I think is generally a positive. Yes, there may be some short-term pain for the American consumer and for other countries, but in the long term, it's going to be better for everybody. And I think that's the message Trump needs to go with and continue to stay with.
I completely agree. Jarrett Stepman, on top of this story, as always, we're going to continue to follow it. But at some point, if you get to 300, 400, 500%, there's just no trade at all. I mean, at some point it just stops, doesn't it? But that puts us in trouble for pharmaceuticals in the short run. Other things we can figure out. India and Vietnam are going to build iPads and other electronics. We've got that figured out. But there's going to be some pain. 20 seconds, last word, my friend.
Yeah, this is just a long time coming. During the Cold War, we didn't let the Soviet Union into the global system of trade. I think it was a major mistake in 2001 when we allowed China into the World Trade Organization. We allowed this country that has more people than us hostile to the American worldview, to American freedom. That should have never happened. Trump's making a correction now, and that's a huge deal. We should all be thankful for it.
Jarrett Stepman, always thankful for you being here, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right. Still to come, the American Culture Project, mobilizing voters around the ideals of freedom. That's still on the way here. We'll talk about it on the Steve Gerber Show.